Welcome to the Light of Infinite Festival. It is an honor and a privilege and a great blessing to be here. My name is Julia Lustigman, and I am speaking from Jerusalem, Israel. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever we are meeting in the world, today, tonight. Thank you, Erez, Safar, for putting in so much work and doing and organizing and putting out beautiful Torahs and getting people together to talk and to share our light and to try to make the world a better place. So thank you all, and thank you all that have joined here with me and with all of us, and may it be a blessing for everybody. So, I will begin. For a second, I will just come here and invite all of us, whoever's here and whoever joins and whoever's here at the replay, to connect. Just 2 seconds. First of all, to oneself. Come, center, breath, and connect at the same time to all of us that are here together in the festival, in this room, in the other room, through all the rooms, and to meet each other in this space between the individual experience and the collective experience, and to create this collective field that we're doing together. So for the next half hour, we will be together, and I hope to take you on a little trip. A special trip. So let's begin. Okay. As we journey in this world, yes, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And on my path and my journey in the last many years, I seek and sought answers and questions, a lot of questions. What's going on, in the world? What's my mission? What is happening around me? What am I meant to do? What does God want from us? What are the road marks? How are we supposed to figure this all out? As the years have gone by, and we all see and feel that the world is speeding up. A lot of things are changing. A lot of things have changed over the last few years in very, very direct ways. And I was looking for answers and for, again, my place, a map, how to orient myself, information on what the heck is going on, and what I can do, and what is happening to me. So after, much life experience and delving into many texts and wonderful teachers and, again, life, I began to organize and find different timelines and maps that helped me and really saved my life and daily. So I called it the Imaginal Map. Yes. Now I'm going to show you a map like this, okay? And we will talk about this for the next, please God, 25 minutes. I chose to give it to you like this. It works better for me. So you're just going to hear the words and imagine that we're taking a trip, again, with body, with spirit, with mind, with soul, with hearts, with all of ourselves, and all of us together having a collective space. We will begin. This map came together, and I have found it to be a lifesaver for me in many ways. And over the years, others have said that it has also helped them. So that's why I chose to share it with you tonight. And again, in the little time we have, it's going to be brief It's going to be a little bit like a homeopathic essence of what it is. It is a certain vision and context. Again, why do we use maps, right? What are maps for? It's a good question, right? When we're lost, when the world is too big, when we need to get from A to B, and we need to know how to get there and what to expect along the road. If you're driving, again, from New York City to LA, you're going to be meeting lots of different landscapes, weather, mountains, valleys, treacherous terrain, and beautiful terrain. All of it is beautiful, okay? But a map is a very helpful tool. And we are here, human beings. We live in a three-dimensional world. We live in time. We live in space. And we need, at this stage, vessels and lines to help us, guide us, inform us of the next step. I want to say one thing before I delve in. The title is, again, The Rise of the Feminine, and we will speak about this. I want to make the first very important established premise is Ein od milvado, as we say in Hebrew. There is nothing but God. This is just, everything is God. I don't understand much. This is my little way of trying to find my way in today's world, in my life, in the earth, and in the greater cosmic history. Second established premise I want to make, very, very important, and I hope everybody can hear this and understand. This is not about female or male. This is not about gender at all. So there's no men here, women here, better this, not better this. No. This is about archetypes and states of consciousness. The feminine principle and the masculine principle. So, the imaginal map, I called it. Took me a while to figure it out. And then it just dawned on me. There is a circle on the top. There are 4 lines. It is the dance of what is happening between this world, the linear world, and the circle consciousness, which we will get to. Now, the imaginal map comes from imaginal cells, which are so inspiring. Everybody should really know about imaginal cells, especially in today's world, yes? So what are imaginal cells? They exist inside the butterfly and in the caterpillar. And they are the catalyst of the caterpillar's metamorphosis into a butterfly. Okay? The definition I wrote here is the only cells inside of a caterpillar that understands that in the future the caterpillar will turn into a butterfly. It understands metamorphosis. It is one cell, and then it begins with another cell. And again, this is science. At this point, science and spirituality are meeting across the board in many, many ways. And these cells start inside of them. They just know. In their knowing and in their body and in their visceral experience, these imaginal cells start vibrating on very high vibration. And then one connects to another one, which connects to another one, and bam, a critical mass is strong enough to form and create a metamorphosis into a butterfly. Dr. Bruce Lipton speaks about it a lot, and a lot of scientists do speak about this, the concept also of morphic fields. So I called this the imaginal map to help me direct myself, because I know, I feel, we see, we read in Jewish texts, in mystical texts, in all kinds of spiritual texts, even in all the alternative and new agey today, that there is shifts happening. There are shifts happening. There's an evolutionary, unprecedented evolutionary in humanity shift happening. And so to kind of help us and connect with these imaginal cells within ourselves to give us strength, to give us courage, and to connect with the other imaginal cells in the world. So all together we can help evolve, and we can obviously evolve ourselves, which always begins with ourselves. Okay, so let's go. You ready? Let's go. Imagine the first line where we begin is the world history line. Now, I don't know what was before this world, and I don't know what's going to be next. I will only show what I know now. What I know now is I live in a 3D world, and in this world. This is an earthly history in a Jewish text by the Jewish sages. Okay, they say it is created for 6,000 years. Now again, this earthly incarnation was created for 6,000 years, says Chazal. 2,000 years was chaos. Now in the book of Genesis, you can read about that. Tohu vavohu and chaotic. 2,000 years, from 2,000 to 4,000, was the era of Torah. So with Avram Avinu and the temples, and it ended with the destruction of the second temple, and we are actually in the mourning period right now. And then 2,000 years, the last ones, which are called the Messianic era. Here, Messianic era, Mashiach era, Messianic days, Yimas HaMashiach, all kinds of words to describe that these 2,000 years, and as we get closer to year 6,000, which is in many, many, again, different words, the Mashiach consciousness, Geula, all these are Hebrew terms. There's non-Jewish terms that are being used, the new world, there will be something new. Now, if you look where we are standing in the Jewish date, we are in the year 5783. This world was created 6,000 years. There will be something else, and we are at the end of it. And there's a lot written about what it is to be on the tail end of this world line. Okay? So again, start by situating yourself at the top of the plane. You are watching that there is 6,000 years of history, and we are at the end of that. And the end of that means that we are getting closer to a new world, a new consciousness, to Mashiach consciousness. Yes? A lot is written about what that means in the Hasidic texts based on Kabbalah and Hasidus. One of the main things that it means. How does this inform me? Again, and what does this mean in my life? First of all, it means that things are hard at the end of days. There is a big Rebbe, the Slonimer Rebbe, that says it is so hard we will feel like just people will have to hold themselves up by grasping onto smooth walls with their bare hands. This is from the Rebbe of Slonim, talking about these days that we're living in now. So take heed and encouragement just from knowing that. And another big hint that we have from this map is in a lot of texts it says we are going to need the strength of Abraham, Avram Avinu, our forefather. And what strength does he have? What did he bring? He brought a belief in himself, it says in the text. He was the head of all believers, not believers in God. Yes, obviously he was a huge believer in God, and he found God on his own. He found God within, and he believed in himself, and he believed that God created the world for him, for me, and that I am partnered with God to make this world a better place. And that is a huge shift to understand and to inform us, okay? The second line, and I want to bring something in that I didn't say. There's a very beautiful a quote from the Ethics of the Father, Pirkei Avos, which says, "Who is wise? He who knows his place." And that's what started really this whole map. And we can get, again, information is power. And when we have information, we are empowered to be the best that we can be, fulfill our potential, become cells in the imaginal cells towards evolution, towards a higher consciousness for humanity, towards the revelation of God in this world, yes? And knowing the journey, that's a famous thing in psychology and in most places. Knowing the journey is half the journey. And that is true. When I know the journey, I'm almost there. If I'm going to Antarctica, I get ready to go to Antarctica. I know what to expect. Okay, so the feminine, the second line, watch this. The feminine rising 7-stage development. Okay, now this is the 6,000-year journey of the moon from a diminished state to full stature, face to face with the sun. Let me tell you a story. Okay, this is a story that is known. It comes from one of the first verses in Genesis. It is a story of the moon and the sun. And I will say here that these are archetypes for the feminine principle and the masculine principle. Okay? And the sun, and it's written that God made 2 great lights. Yes? The great light to rule by day and the small light to rule by night. And the story goes that the moon said to the master of the universe, "God, is it possible for 2 kings to share 1 crown?" And the Holy One says, "Go, diminish yourself." Now there is a lot of dialogue in our commentaries, a lot of back and forth. She insisted. She said, "That's not fair. I speak something true, rightly. I have to diminish myself." Back, forth, back, forth. At the end of the day, this is a very important map and very important journey that we are on, because we are also on the moon's journey. Because God did diminish the moon. And when the moon was diminished, the world shifted into a diminished moon world. Okay? And we have to understand that one of the promises of messianic times, and again, watch the maps. Here we are almost at the end. It is written in the text that the journey of the moon from being back to diminishment, back to the light of the sun, back to how she was at the beginning, before God put her through the journey and put the world through this journey. It is said that it is 1 lunar cycle and it is 6,000 years. So 6,000 years and 6,000 years. And just hold that space, okay? And it is a messianic promise that what? At the end of these journeys, there will be no war, no famine. There will be peace. The revelation of God will be glorious, will be felt, will be for all to see. And what does Isaiah say? The light of the moon will become like the light of the sun. These lines impact us. Now again, another thing here I want to really importantly mention is that everything I'm talking about impacts us on an individual internal level and impacts us on a collective human level. It touches the cosmic history, touches humanity, it touches the Jewish people, it touches you as human being. Everything here goes from the macro to the micro, back from the micro to the macro, internal, external. As above, so below. And each reflect each other, and we are partners. The journey of the feminine and the rising stage, the Ari, who was basically the huge Kabbalist in the 15th century, Rabbi Yitzchak Leora, delineated it into 7 stages. by most already about 200 years ago, by most illustrious Kabbalists, we were already by the 5 or the 6 stage. This has a lot of impact in the world, and I won't speak about it more at length today, except to say that this impact of the rising of the moon is felt already, will be felt more and more as we approach being close to the 6,000 years, yes? And as we approach the final rise, the final trip of the moon from a diminished state back to her full stature. And we will, again, these symbols, very briefly, I'm just going to state them. Listen to them with cells, with your body, with your soul, with your heart, okay? Not so much intellectual, but listen. The masculine archetypes are generally, again, linear. Now I'm using linear because we're a linear world and we need these. These are vessels for us to transform ourselves and in so doing to try and transform the world. Male, the sun archetype, linear, external, stable, a result. In the feminine archetypes, the feminine symbols, the moon symbols, what is rising in the world today, what is bringing balance in the world. Female, circle, emotions, internal, cycle, transformation process, connectedness. The world is moving from external to internal. The world is moving to balance, and yes, it is rocky. Look at these two. I'm going to very quickly go back to we have 2 more lines to go. Okay? And again, I just want to say that there's a lot of changes you see in medicine, you see in therapy, you see in politics, you see in the way the world and the systems are changing and looking for new language. All of these affect us. Okay? Now, I'm going to skip, there are 2 more lines. There is the soul journey line, which is the most important line. Why? My playing field, where there is change, because I'm the only one that can do this change. And I'm the only one that can be the imaginal self. Okay? I'm going to come back to it. I want to go back to the last 4th line for now, very, very briefly. It is the yearly cycle line. Now in Judaism, and I've called also this from Chinese medicine and other sources, but this is the Jewish yearly cycle. I've included the solar and the lunar cycles, the equinoxes, the solstices. It is incredibly powerful tool for us to tap into again and gather information. What does God want from me? What does God want from the generation? What does God want from the world? And how? How can I tap into it? And every month and every day and every new moon and every full moon and every equinox and Hanukkah and Tu B'Shvat and Passover and Rosh Hashanah, the entire year carries within itself portals of energy. And I want to say one very important thing that is stated in Judaism and in a lot of other, obviously, paths and truths, because truth is one and God is one, that the energy of the time is what creates the holidays. The holidays have come there because at that time there is an energetic opportunity and opening. So God has created us with ritual and with vessels in order, because we are human beings and because we live on earth and because we are 3D people, 3D human beings, let us not forget, because being grounded and living in this world is what really actualizes potential. And all of this yearly cycle is but a tool for us to tap into God's wisdom and God's voice saying, right now, this is what's happening in the world. And here I give you this ritual. I give you this beautiful holy holiday to use so that you can transform. Right now, I just want to say where we are. Okay, we are in the height of the summer, in a mourning period. What does that mean? And we can go on a lot about this, but look around. It actually means fire, fights. The temples were burning. In the world, when you look at what's going on right now, you will see it. You will see it. The ability for anything to take place physically hinges on the influences of the energetic time, says Hasidus. Okay? Now I'm going back to the soul journey line, and we will stop here. This is our current incarnation, okay? Now we've had before, I don't know what will be after. This is the current incarnation, the most significant line, because it is where we affect change, can affect change with the God-willing fulfill potential and impact the cosmic story. In this line, I use the two upper lines, and I use the fourth line. And I ground myself. It's like you're jumping off a plane. Just imagine for the next we're going to have 3 more minutes, yeah? So we're just going to imagine. Just go there. We're all together, by the way, in this. We're all together in this miraculous, sometimes, yes, difficult process. Sometimes intense, sometimes very scary, beautiful, magical, miraculous, divine process of being in the world at this time. Now again, why did we come at this time? Why did we choose to incarnate at this time? What is it? And you're going to jump off this plane and you're going to see this whole world history, and it's 6,000 years and we're nearing. And we know that the last few years are turbulent. Okay. And we know that we need to go internal. And then we know the story of the moon. 6,000 years story. For her to go from diminished back to the light of the sun. And how does that affect me? Whether you're a man, you're a woman. And then you look at where you are in a year. Take a pause, breathe. Where are you? Where are we? We're in the height of summer. That means day. Day is sun, archetype male, archetype external, a lot of action, archetype heat, it's hot. Here it is. Fire. The power. How are we using the power of this time of year? And then meet all of this information and all of these maps and all of these lines. These lines inform me, empower me. And you know what? I take it and I breathe and I stay on my line and I say, whoa, where am I? I'll tell you where I am. I'm teaching this class, nervous, praying that whoever listens gets what they need to get. That the vision, that the map here, which is an enlarged map, can give us a greater vision, which is also, by the way, the sense of this month. Enlarge our vision, and yet keep the vision tied to now, to here, to this month, to this second. Connect to yourself. When you transmute and transform on this line, as much as these lines inform us, we then, what happens? We also impact. We also impact the world. We impact the development of the feminine. We impact the evolution of the world towards Mashiach consciousness, towards more light, a festival like the one like today, and people sharing, and people being internal and connecting. It is not about being individual. It is about being me and understanding also the interconnectedness of us all. I'm just checking the time. Now I'm going to have to go. want to say, I'm going to put this map down for 1 second. There. Hey, look, I really held it the whole time. I didn't expect. I just want to say thank you. And I would say blessings on our journey together as a collective and as individuals. May we be guided. And may we see evolution, light, goodness. And may these lines and this little map that has helped me so much help you in some way and give you again a new eye, a new vision. And if anything, just to know that if you are going through a hard time or if things are a little bit crazy, that's okay. That's known. We're all in this together. And here, look at what is happening to the moon. And look what is happening to the rise. So thank you very, very much. Much blessing. All my love. And if you have any questions, because this was just a very, very small, brief tip of the iceberg, you're welcome to email me and to look at my bio.